Day 31 in the Big Brother UK house. But before we talk about that, after the eviction on Friday, people on, can you guess where? You got it. Facebook were demanding that AJ gets sacked because of the way she was interviewing Chanel, and she says that she was pushing too hard for her to answer questions. And as I mentioned in my last video, it was painfully watched. Like, you would have thought that Chanel didn't understand English, and they were sitting there waiting on an answer. So they kept asking her questions because you can only have so many seconds of silence when you're on screen. Then they were saying the interview with Trish was completely different. Yes, the interview with Trish was different because she actually knows how to hold a conversation and answer questions like a normal person. Then we had the usual group of people who were saying AJ should be sacked because she made it clear that Trish was her favourite. And then there was one guy in the comments saying, I think we know why that is. So I was like, why? And he says, if you don't know, then I don't think you're ready for the answer. Now, we know what he's insinuating here, right? But I was like, no, I want to know. I want to know the answer. And he ended up deleting me and blocking me. And I was like, he's not saying it because he knows that what he's saying is a lot of shit. Like, Will has turned round and says that Jenkins was his favourite at one point, and nobody turned round and says, he's only his favourite because he's a white male. I don't understand this mentality. But anyway, 5 weeks ago, who would have thought that I would be sitting here defending AJ? Because at the start, I was totally against her. But now, I actually like her and Will. So as we already know, Chanel and Trish were evicted and Yinrun was screeching as usual. However, I do think she managed to hold it together a lot better than usual. Olivia and Jenkins were talking about how the audience were shouting for Trish to win, and then the next thing she got evicted. And Olivia says, well, all the Welsh people would have voted for the Welshies to stay. And I was like, that is an actual insult to Welsh people. And not only that, it's Big Brother, it's not the fucking Eurovision Song Contest. You're not voting for your country. Tom, Henry and Jordan were in the hot tub. And every time I see them in the hot tub in Big Brother UK, I think, that's good that they've got something to do. But the other Big Brothers have got pool tables and gyms and other things. Sometimes they've even got a pool. And I really wish that in Big Brother UK they had more to do. So it was whatever time at night and the lights were off in the bedroom. And Jordan said to Henry that he wanted to tell him a secret. And then he gave him a kiss. Now, earlier on today, I made a video about them kissing in the hot tub. And I was like, oh my God. Now, even though I knew that they were going to kiss in the hot tub later, I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, he's actually just gave him a kiss. And then Henry gave him a kiss back, and I was like, oh my God, and I was freaking out. In the morning, Big Brother woke them up with a song, and they were singing like The Boy Does Nothing, and I thought, is that literally Henry's national anthem? So it was time for the party clean up, and they had to tidy the whole house and put the stuff in a hatch out the back. And the room upstairs was all full of balls. I would like to know how they got that full. They must have a thing that drops in through the roof. But when the balls were all falling downstairs, I thought, oh my God, that looks like so much fun going down that. But I don't know if it would hurt you or if it would just be like going down a slide. But I'd have been into trying it. Matty and Tom decided to give up cleaning and they wanted to just play in the ball pool. And Olivia was shouting and she's saying, get your buckets and get the stuff cleaned up. And then Jenkins was like, can we all agree that Olivia's scary? Like, I'm really scared of her. And I thought, right, maybe he's kidding on. But now that Trish is gone, they've got to be scared of somebody. They're all shite bags in there. Henry was in the diary room and Big Brother was asking him if he had anything to tell him. Now, this is the kind of stuff that I like in Big Brother. Big Brother Australia does this to people all the time. He talks to them as if Big Brother's like their friend and he gets involved in the storyline, and that's what I really love. But Henry was saying that when Jordan kissed him, he was shocked, and I was like, you were shocked? I nearly fell off the frickin' bed. When the housemates questioned him about the kiss, Jordan was making out as if he couldn't remember and he was just joking about it, and he was like, it doesn't matter, it won't happen again. And even though I do think he was joking, like, Henry's just a wee sensitive sausage and he's sitting there laughing and like, as if it's not hurting his feelings, and I was like, I love Henry. Yinrun was in the stockroom and her reaction to finding the soy sauce is exactly how I react when I find soy sauce. But then she leaned on the shelf and it broke. And I've said it before, but thank God they didn't have to pay a security deposit because that's fucking long gone. Then the housemates had to clean up the bubbles from the bathroom, and as if that wasn't bad enough, Olivia was squealing again. Oh my God, screaming, it goes right through you. Like, there's literally no need for it. Like, I used to do stuff like that when I was 10. She is supposed to be an adult, and I'd have turned around and says to her, like, fucking stop squealing or I'm going to stop cleaning. I don't even give a fuck about having a spa day. Then it was time to clean up the garden, and the llamas were just standing about in the garden. And at first I kind of thought, they're being unnecessarily scared of these llamas. They're not going to put llamas in that are going to attack them. But they do spit at you and it's rapid. You know, I've been spit at by a llama before. But one time I was feeding them. I went to this place and you feed them like wee pellets, right? And they do. like with their lips, and it tickles your hand, and it's like just such the funniest feeling ever. But I think that they were overreacting a wee bit. In the end, they won the spa day, and it was well deserved. But Olivia was telling Yinrun about the word scunnered, and when she was telling her, she says, oh, it's like shocked or tired. I've only ever heard the word scunnered used as like fed up, bored or tired. I've never heard it as shocked before. This is the next day. I got called away and I'm back in my jammies again. Then it was time for the hot tub kiss, and I knew this was coming because I posted it earlier on yesterday. But even though I had already seen it and I had already seen them kissing in the room, I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, I cannot believe this. I swear to God, like, what is wrong with me? Jordan was telling Henry that he really likes him because he remembers stuff about him and he makes him feel comfortable. But then instantly he went into saying, oh, I don't like want any commitment or whatever, like it's just fun. And I was like, he better not be playing with him right now. The housemates were out in the garden and a few of them were in the hot tub, and they decided to play dares, and Olivia dared Jordan and Henry to kiss with tongues. And even though I had already seen them kissing at night and kissing in the hot tub and already knew it was going to happen, and they did it and I was freaking out again. And I hardly even noticed Olivia freaking out because I was freaking out. And when Jordan was talking about this just being fun, I got to the point where I was like, oh my god, stuff Henry's emotions, what about my emotions? They're all over the place. It was time for the late and live show and Chanel was back. But I seen on Facebook yesterday that Trish isn't allowed back on the show because of tweets from 10 years ago. And if they're real, I did read some, and she was saying things like, I start to feel weird around disabled people when I'm around them for too long. And then supposedly Dylan replied and he says, oh, that explains why she was with me the way she was. But she'd also said things about Asian people and how they smell weird, and there was quite a lot of nasty tweets. Now, I've posted some bad tweets back in the day, maybe 10 years ago, but none of them have ever been racist at all. None of them have ever been about disabled people at all. And it is a line, there's a line that you cross when you say things. Even 10 years ago that wasn't acceptable. However, the way Trish is now, she posted an apology and she says, that's why I'm so passionate now about like standing up for people and standing up for people's rights, because of the things I used to say. Now, whether you believe that or not, it's up to you. But even people on Facebook, you know what they're like, they absolutely hate Trish, right? They were saying, oh, I always knew she was nasty, I'm always a good judge of character. What are all the Trish fans going to be saying now? But as you know, I wasn't a Trish fan, I just didn't think she was a bully in the house. And regardless of tweets from 10 years ago, I still don't think she was a bully in the house. So I don't see why that's got anything to do with now. On Facebook as well, people were saying, how's Yinrun going to feel when she comes out and reads these tweets about Asian people? And I thought to myself, people change, right? Like, if I'm a certain way, like I'm fat, right? So if one of my friends had tweets from 10 years ago that were totally fat phobic, I wouldn't go, oh my god, like, you're a dick. I'd be like, right, it was 10 years ago, like, who gives a fuck? I'm curious to know if the people who watch these videos also watch the late and live show, because when Chanel was on, Will asked her a question, it was just basic, like, how do you feel since you got out of the house or something? And she literally turned around and was like, nothing. And he had to answer the question for her because it took her so long to answer. And I thought, oh, for fuck's sake, here we go again. People on Facebook were saying yesterday that Chanel was going to be on the late and live show. I says they'd be as well bringing on a rubber doll because it would have more intelligence and more personality than her, and I still stand by that statement. Finally she did start answering questions, but she was speaking so slow, and every time she's like, what I will say is, what I will say is. I'm like, hurry up, this is live TV, we don't have time for this. The final week is the week of reckoning, and they're doing a school challenge where Jordan is the head teacher and Henry's the other faculty member. So it's finally face-to-face noms, and you've seen Jordan nominating Jenkin, and the people in the late and live show were saying, oh, that was really harsh. But you can't not be harsh when you're doing face-to-face noms. I don't think he said anything nasty. All he says was, I'm not your cup of tea, you're not my cup of tea. Like, so what? He could have said a lot worse. The 3 housemates with the highest number of votes are going to get fake evicted, and they're going to get put into a secret room where they can spy on the rest of the house, and then only one gets to go back in. And I love it when they do things like that. This whole time, like this whole 5 weeks, they could have been doing stuff like this. They do it in Big Brother Australia all the time, but for some reason they've left it till the last week. People were posting on Facebook and saying they were watching the live and there was 3 people missing, but I won't say who it is just in case I spoil it for you. But if you would like to talk more about Big Brother UK, give me a follow.